Welcome to the journey of clear thinking. Are you ready to unlock your mind? Hey there, friend. Have you ever felt like your mind's a foggy mess, like you're stumbling through a cluttered room, tripping over thoughts you can't quite grab hold of? Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone, bombarded with notifications, news, and opinions. And suddenly, you realize you can't even remember what you were thinking about 5 minutes ago. Sound familiar? In today's world, where information hits us like a tidal wave and our attention's stretched thinner than a thread, thinking clearly feels like a superpower, one we all desperately need but don't always know how to tap into. That's where we're headed today, and I'm thrilled you're here with me. We're diving into 6 ancient Stoic lessons that can cut through the chaos, helping you master clear thinking and turn your mind into a sharp, focused tool. So, grab a comfy spot, settle in, and let's embark on this journey together. Because by the end, you might just see the world in a whole new light. But here's the deal. I've got a little challenge for you. Stick with me all the way to the end, okay? This isn't just a quick read. It's a commitment to yourself, a promise to grow and find the clarity you deserve. If you're new here, do me a favor. Join our community and stay updated for more insights like this. Ready? Let's get started. The Stoics, those wise thinkers from ancient Greece and Rome, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, faced their own kind of chaos, political turmoil, personal loss, and the unpredictability of life. Yet they developed a philosophy that's as relevant now as it was then, offering practical tools to navigate the noise and find mental clarity. Their teachings aren't about escaping the world, but about engaging with it more intentionally, cutting through distractions to focus on what truly matters. In a time when our minds are pulled in 1,000 directions, social media pings, work emails, endless news cycles, the Stoics' wisdom feels like a lifeline. Let's explore their first lesson. Focus on what you can control. The Stoics believed that most of our stress comes from fretting over things outside our power, other people's opinions, unexpected events, or even the weather. Epictetus put it bluntly, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Imagine applying this today. Instead of spiraling over a critical comment online or a delayed flight, you shift your energy to your response, your attitude, your actions. This simple reframing can clear the mental fog, giving you a sense of calm and purpose. Next, let's talk about practicing negative visualization, a Stoic technique that sounds grim but is surprisingly liberating. The idea is to occasionally imagine worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on them, but to prepare your mind. Seneca advised thinking about potential setbacks, like losing a job or facing a tough conversation, to reduce their emotional grip. By mentally rehearsing these scenarios, you're not caught off guard when challenges arise. It's like mental strength training. You build resilience, so the chaos of life doesn't shake you as much. In our fast-paced world where unexpected notifications or news can derail your day, this practice helps you stay grounded, ready to face whatever comes with a clear head. Another Stoic gem is the art of journaling for self-reflection. Marcus Aurelius wrote his Meditations as a personal dialogue, not for fame, but to clarify his thoughts. Try this. At the end of your day, jot down what went well, what didn't, and how you reacted. This isn't about perfection, but about noticing patterns. Maybe you got sucked into a social media rabbit hole or snapped at a coworker. Reflecting helps you spot these moments and choose better next time. In an era of constant digital noise, this quiet act of writing can anchor you, turning scattered thoughts into a coherent plan for growth. The Stoics also championed living with intention, which means aligning your actions with your values. Ask yourself, what matters most to you? Family, integrity, creativity? Now, look at your day. How much of it reflects those priorities? Seneca warned against drifting through life, saying, "You are living as if destined to live forever." In our world, it's easy to waste hours on autopilot, scrolling, or reacting to whatever grabs your attention. By setting clear intentions, Maybe spending an hour on a passion project or truly listening during a conversation, you reclaim your focus. This practice cuts through the clutter, making your choices deliberate and your mind sharper. Another powerful lesson is embracing simplicity. The Stoics valued living with less, not just material things, but mental baggage too. Epictetus taught that true freedom comes from needing little, from not being enslaved by desires or distractions. Today, this could mean decluttering your digital life, unfollowing accounts that stress you out, or turning off notifications. Simplifying doesn't mean doing less. It means doing what matters more effectively. When your mind isn't bogged down by excess, it's free to think clearly and creatively. Finally, the Stoics remind us to practice gratitude, but not in a fluffy, feel-good way. It's about appreciating what you have while it's here, knowing it could be gone tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." This perspective shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, grounding you in the moment. In a world that pushes you to want more likes, more stuff, gratitude is a quiet rebellion that clears your mind and sharpens your focus. So, there you have it. 6 Stoic lessons to master clear thinking. Focus on what you can control, visualize challenges, reflect through journaling, live with intention, embrace simplicity, and practice gratitude. These aren't just ancient ideas, they're practical tools for navigating today's chaos. Commit to trying one this week, maybe a 5-minute journal or a moment of gratitude, and see how it shifts your perspective. Stick with this journey and you'll find your mind becoming a clearer, stronger tool. If you're inspired, share this with someone who needs a little clarity too, and let's keep growing together. Finding your inner calm with the power of stillness. All right, let us dive into something that might sound deceptively simple but carries a profound impact. Finding stillness. Picture this. You're in the thick of a hectic day, emails stacking up like a digital avalanche, kids yelling in the background, or maybe it's just that relentless inner voice nagging about your endless to-do list. It's so easy to get swept away, isn't it? Your mind feels like a browser with too many tabs open, each one demanding attention, pulling you in every direction. But what if I told you that pausing, just for a moment, could be your secret weapon for cutting through the chaos? The Stoics, those wise philosophers from ancient Greece and Rome, mastered this art centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius, a man juggling the weight of an empire while wrestling with his own thoughts, put it beautifully when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He believed that no matter how loud the world gets, there's a quiet space inside you, a sanctuary waiting to be tapped into. Let's explore how this ancient practice of finding stillness can transform your thinking in our modern, overstuffed world. Stick with me, because this journey into calm could be the key to unlocking a sharper, clearer mind. The Stoics understood that life is inherently noisy, whether it's the clamor of a Roman marketplace or the ping of a smartphone notification. Their solution wasn't to run from the chaos, but to find a way to rise above it. Stillness for them wasn't about sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop, though that's nice if you can swing it. It was about creating a mental pause, a deliberate break to reconnect with yourself. Think of it as a mental reset button. In today's world, where we're bombarded with information, social media, news alerts, work demands, and the constant hum of life, this practice is more crucial than ever. Our attention is fractured, pulled thin by endless distractions. Without moments of stillness, our thoughts become a jumbled mess, like a cluttered desk where you can't find what you need. The Stoics, like Seneca and Epictetus, taught that by stepping back into the quiet of your own soul, you can sort through the noise, prioritize what matters, and approach life with clarity. So, how do you actually do this? It's simpler than you might think, but it takes intention. The next time you feel overwhelm creeping in, maybe your inbox is overflowing, or you're stuck in traffic with your mind racing, stop. Yes, just stop. Find a moment, even if it's just 30 seconds. Take a deep breath, feeling the air fill your chest. Hold it for a second, and then let it out slowly, like you're exhaling the chaos. If you can, close your eyes. Now, just listen. Tune into the sounds around you, the hum of your room, the distant chatter of life outside, maybe even the rhythm of your own heartbeat. This isn't about emptying your mind, it's about giving it space to breathe. I tried this once during a particularly frantic work project. My mind was a whirlwind of deadlines and doubts, and I felt like I was drowning. I stepped away, sat quietly for a minute, and focused on my breathing. Almost like magic, the fog cleared, and the next step I needed to take just clicked into place. It's not mysticism. It's you taking control of your mental space. This practice of finding stillness is like training a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. Start small. Carve out a minute or two each day to pause intentionally. You don't need a fancy meditation app or a quiet room, just a willingness to be present. Maybe it's during your morning coffee, before you dive into the day's demands. Sit with your mug, feel its warmth, and let your thoughts settle. Or try it at night, after the world has gone quiet, when you can reflect on what went well and what didn't. The Stoics were big on reflection. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations as a way to process his day, not for an audience, but for himself. This act of pausing helps you notice patterns in your thinking. Maybe you're stressing over things you can't control, like a coworker's attitude or a news headline. By stepping into stillness, you create a space to ask, what can I actually do about this? Often, the answer is simpler than you think. Let's be real. Finding stillness isn't always easy. Our world doesn't exactly encourage it. We're conditioned to stay busy, to fill every moment with productivity or distraction. Scrolling through social media or binge-watching a show feels easier than sitting with your thoughts. But that's exactly why this practice is so powerful. It's a quiet rebellion against the noise, a way to reclaim your mind. Seneca once warned against living on autopilot, saying, "You are living as if destined to live forever." When you pause, you're choosing to live intentionally, to make your thoughts and actions align with what matters most. This isn't about escaping life's demands. It's about engaging with them more effectively. When your mind is clear, you're better equipped to handle that tough conversation, solve that tricky problem, or simply enjoy the moment you're in. Stillness also pairs beautifully with another Stoic principle, focusing on what you can control. When you pause, you give yourself a chance to sort through what's in your power and what's not. That rude email from a client. You can't control their tone, but you can control your response. That looming deadline. You can't stop time, but you can prioritize your tasks. By grounding yourself in stillness, you create a mental filter that separates the signal from the noise. It's like tidying that cluttered desk. Suddenly, you can see what's important and let go of the rest. This clarity doesn't just make you more productive, it makes you calmer, more present, and more resilient. If you're wondering how to make this a habit, try anchoring it to something you already do. Maybe it's right after brushing your teeth or while waiting for your kettle to boil. Even a brief pause can shift your perspective. Over time, these moments add up, training your mind to stay sharp and focused, like a knife cutting through butter. You'll start to notice the chaos less and your own strength more. And here is a bonus. Stillness doesn't just help you think clearly, it helps you feel better too. It is a reminder that you are not just a passenger in your life, but the driver. So here's my challenge to you. Give it a try today. Find one moment to pause, breathe, and listen. Let the world's noise fade for just a second and connect with that quiet space inside you. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. If you keep at it, you'll find your mind transforming into a tool that's not only sharper, but also kinder to yourself. Share this with someone who could use a little calm in their storm, and let's keep building this habit together. Your mind deserves this clarity, and you deserve the peace that comes with it. Challenging the stories in your head. Now that we've tapped into the power of finding stillness, let us dive into something a bit more intricate but equally transformative. Questioning the stories you tell yourself. You know those moments when your mind spins a tale like, they didn't text back because they're mad at me, or I'll never figure this out. These assumptions can snowball, building entire castles in the air before you even realize it. Suddenly you're stressed, anxious, or feeling defeated over something that might not even be true. The Stoics, with their razor-sharp wisdom, saw right through this mental trap. Seneca, one of their heavyweights, had a knack for cutting to the chase. He'd say something like, "You suffer more often in imagination than in reality." It's a wake-up call to step back, take a hard look at the stories you're weaving, and ask, is this true or am I making it up? This practice of challenging your assumptions isn't just about clearing mental clutter. It is about reclaiming your peace and sharpening your thinking in a world that's constantly throwing curveballs. Our minds are storytelling machines, and while that can be a beautiful thing, it's also a double-edged sword. We're wired to make sense of the world by filling in gaps, but those gaps often get filled with half-truths or outright fiction. Think about it. You send a message to a friend, and hours pass with no reply. Your brain might jump to, "They're upset with me," or "I said something wrong." Before you know it, you're replaying every word, feeling guilty or defensive. Or maybe you're facing a challenging project at work, and your inner voice whispers, "I'm not good enough for this." These stories feel real because they're fueled by emotion, but feelings aren't facts. Seneca's advice is a lifeline here. Don't let your imagination run wild. Check what's real. The Stoics believed that by questioning these narratives, you free yourself from self-imposed suffering and open the door to clearer, more rational thinking. So, how do you actually do this? It starts with cultivating curiosity instead of certainty. The next time a negative or limiting story pops into your head, pause. Take a breath, maybe even lean into that stillness we talked about earlier, and ask, what evidence do I have for this? Let us say you reconvinced a colleague's short email means they re-annoyed with you. Instead of spiraling, get curious. Could they be swamped with work? Maybe they're just not great at writing warm emails. Or consider a time you felt stuck on a task, assuming it's impossible. Ask yourself, is it truly impossible, or do I need a different strategy? Maybe a break, a new perspective, or even asking for help could crack it open. This approach isn't about dismissing your feelings, but about testing them against reality. It's like being a detective in your own mind, sifting through clues to separate fact from fiction. I've been there myself, caught in the trap of my own stories. A while back, I submitted a project to a boss who didn't immediately shower it with praise. My mind went straight to, they're disappointed. I didn't meet their expectations. For days, I stewed in that assumption, feeling smaller and smaller. It was exhausting, like carrying a backpack full of bricks. Finally, I decided to test the story. I asked my boss for feedback, half expecting criticism. Turns out they were just distracted by a personal issue and thought my work was solid. That simple question lifted the weight I'd been carrying. It was a humbling reminder. My imagination had built a prison, but curiosity set me free. Challenging your assumptions does that. It dismantles those mental walls, letting clarity and possibility flood in. This practice ties beautifully into the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control. You can't control whether someone texts back or how they feel, but you can control how you interpret their silence. You can't control the complexity of a task, but you can control your approach to tackling it. By questioning your stories, you shift from being a passive victim of your thoughts to an active investigator. This is especially powerful in our modern world, where social media, news, and constant connectivity amplify our tendency to assume the worst. A single vague post or a heated online comment can send your mind into overdrive, conjuring scenarios that feel urgent but aren't real. Pausing to question those narratives. Is this post actually about me? Is this news as dire as it seems? Helps you stay grounded and keeps your mental energy where it belongs. Making this a habit takes practice, but it's worth it. Start by noticing when your emotions spike. Those are often clues that a story's at play. Maybe you feel a pang of rejection, frustration, or self-doubt. Instead of letting that feeling drive the narrative, hit pause. Ask, what's the story I'm telling myself here? Then poke holes in it. What's the evidence? What's an alternative explanation? If you can, test it. Send a kind message to that friend, ask your boss for clarification, or break that impossible task into smaller steps. Even if you can't confirm the truth right away, this process loosens the grip of unhelpful assumptions. Over time, you'll notice your mind becoming less reactive, more open and clearer, like a window wiped clean of smudges. This Stoic practice also dovetails with another of their gems: living with intention. When you question your stories, you're choosing to think deliberately, aligning your thoughts with reality, rather than letting them run on autopilot. It's a way of taking ownership of your mind, refusing to let unchecked assumptions dictate your mood or decisions. In a world that thrives on snap judgments and knee-jerk reactions, this is a radical act of self-mastery. You're not just reacting to the world, you're engaging with it thoughtfully, cutting through the noise to focus on what's true and what matters. Here is a challenge for you. The next time you catch yourself spinning a story, whether it's about a friend, a work situation, or even yourself, pause and question it. Write down the assumption, list the evidence for and against it, and consider at least one alternative explanation. You don't need to solve it on the spot. Just give yourself permission to stay curious. This small act can shift your perspective, freeing you from mental traps and opening up new possibilities. Share this practice with someone who might need a nudge to question their own stories. And let's keep building this habit together. Your mind is too powerful to be clouded by untested narratives. Give it the clarity it deserves. Mastering what you can handle. All right, let's crank up the intensity with a Stoic lesson that's all about sharpening your focus. Mastering what you can control. Life is a master at throwing curveballs. Traffic jams that make you late, a snarky comment from a coworker, or an unexpected bill that throws your budget into chaos. It's so easy to let these things rattle you, to feel like you're at the mercy of the world's whims. But here is the truth bomb the Stoics dropped centuries ago. You can control the weather, other people's moods, or the universe's unpredictable timing. What you can control is how you respond, and that's where your real power lies. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who endured slavery and exile yet still found clarity, nailed it when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This principle isn't just ancient wisdom, it is a game changer for navigating the chaos of modern life. Let's dive into how focusing on what you can control can cut through the overwhelm, giving you purpose and a clear path forward. Imagine you're on a boat in the middle of a stormy sea. The waves are crashing, the wind is howling, and there's nothing you can do to calm the storm. Sounds stressful, right? But here's the thing. You can't control the waves, but you can steer the boat, adjust the sails, and keep your cool. That's where your energy belongs, in the choices you make, the actions you take, and the attitude you bring to the moment. The Stoics were obsessed with this idea because they knew that wasting energy on things outside your control is a recipe for frustration. In today's world, where we're bombarded with distractions, endless notifications, other people's opinions, global crises screaming from every screen, this lesson feels like a lifeline. By zeroing in on what's in your power, you stop spinning your wheels and start moving forward with intention. Let's break it down with a real-world example. A while back, I found myself in a heated debate with a family member. We were on opposite sides of an issue, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't change their viewpoint. It drove me up the wall. My heart was racing, and I felt like I was losing control. Then I remembered Epictetus's advice and shifted my focus. I couldn't control their opinion, but I could control how I engaged. I took a deep breath, chose to listen instead of argue, and picked my words carefully. The conversation didn't end with us agreeing, but I walked away feeling grounded, not frazzled. That shift made all the difference. It's not about winning every battle. It's about staying steady in the ones you face. This is what mastering what you can control looks like, finding your footing no matter how wild the storm. So, how do you put this into practice? It starts with a simple question. What can I handle here? The next time life feels like a whirlwind, pause and take stock. Maybe you're stuck in a traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can't make the cars move faster, but you can control your reaction. Maybe you send a quick message to let someone know you're delayed, or use the time to mentally prepare for the meeting. Or say you get a curt email from a colleague. You can't control their tone, but you can decide whether to respond with patience or fire back impulsively. This question is like a mental filter, helping you separate the noise from the signal. It's empowering because it reminds you that, no matter what's happening, you always have a choice. Maybe not over the situation, but over how you navigate it. This practice is especially crucial in our hyper-connected world, where so much feels urgent, but so little is actually in our hands. Scroll through social media, and you're hit with opinions, crises, and hot takes that can leave you feeling helpless or angry. The news cycle churns out stories that make the world seem like it's falling apart. It's tempting to get sucked into worrying about things far beyond your reach, global politics, economic shifts, or what strangers think of you online. But the Stoics would say, let that go. Focus on your own actions, your own circle of influence. Can you make a small difference today? Maybe it's having a kind conversation, doing your best work, or simply choosing not to doom scroll. By narrowing your focus to what's yours to control, you reclaim your mental energy and find clarity amidst the chaos. Making this a habit takes practice, but it's transformative. Start by noticing when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. That's often a sign you're refixating on something outside your control. When it happens, pause and ask, what's in my power right now? Write it down if you can. Maybe it's tackling one task on your to-do list, shifting your mindset to gratitude, or just taking a deep breath to reset. Over time, this becomes second nature. You'll start to see life's challenges as opportunities to exercise your agency, not as threats that knock you off balance. It's like training your mind to stay in the driver's seat, no matter how bumpy the road. This Stoic principle also connects to the other lessons we've explored. Finding stillness, as we discussed, creates the space to ask, what can I control? Questioning your stories, as Seneca advised, helps you see when you're wasting energy on assumptions about things you can't change. Together, these practices build a mental framework that's resilient and clear, even in a world designed to pull you in every direction. They remind you that your power lies not in controlling the external, but in mastering the internal. Your thoughts, your choices, your perspective. Here is a challenge to bring this to life. The next time you re-hit with a frustrating situation, a delayed flight, a disagreement, an unexpected setback, pause and ask, what can I control here? Focus your energy there, whether it's adjusting your attitude, taking a small action, or letting go of what's not yours to fix. Try it for a day, and notice how it shifts your mindset. You might find yourself feeling lighter, more purposeful, like you're steering that boat through the storm with confidence. Share this practice with someone who could use a reminder of their own power, and let's keep honing this skill together. Your mind is your greatest asset. Focus it where it counts, and watch the clarity pour in. Simplifying for a clearer mind. Now that we've honed our ability to focus on what we can control, let S shift gears to a Stoic lesson that S like a breath of fresh air for a cluttered mind. Embracing simplicity. Ever feel like your life is a jumbled puzzle with too many pieces scattered around? Between endless notifications, overflowing to-do lists, and the mental weight of keeping up with everything, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. The Stoics, those masters of clear thinking, had a remedy for this chaos. Marcus Aurelius, despite juggling the demands of running an empire, believed in the power of stripping things down. He wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This isn't a tea about living like a monk or abandoning your goals. It is about cutting away the excess, whether it's cluttered thoughts, messy spaces, or overcomplicated decisions, to focus on what truly matters. Simplifying your life is like clearing the fog from a window, letting clarity and purpose shine through. Let us explore how this ancient wisdom can help you navigate the noise of modern life with ease and intention. The Stoics saw simplicity as a path to freedom. In their world, just like ours, people were often weighed down by chasing more status, more possessions, more responsibilities. But Marcus Aurelius and his fellow philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca argued that true contentment comes from needing less, not accumulating more. This doesn't mean giving up everything you love or shirking your duties. It's about being deliberate, clearing out what's unnecessary to make room for what aligns with your values. Think about your day. Are you juggling 10 tasks at once, saying yes to every request, or surrounded by stuff you don't even use? That clutter, physical, mental, or emotional, clouds your thinking, making it harder to focus on what's important. Simplifying is like tidying up that mental desk, leaving only the essentials so you can work with clarity and purpose. So how do you put this into practice? Start small because simplicity is about progress, not perfection. Take a look at your physical space first. It's often a reflection of your mind. Is your desk buried under papers, gadgets, or random knickknacks? Set a timer for 10 minutes and clear it off, keeping only what you need for the task at hand. I tried this once during a particularly chaotic week. My workspace was a mess, and so was my head. I cleared everything but my laptop, a notebook, and a pen. That simple act felt like lifting a weight, and I could suddenly focus better. It's not just about stuff. Your schedule needs simplifying, too. Are you overcommitted, saying yes to every meeting, favor, or side project? Practice saying no to one thing that doesn't align with your priorities. It's not selfish, it's strategic. By freeing up time and mental space, you're giving yourself room to think clearly and act intentionally. This principle extends to your mental world, too. Our minds get cluttered with worries, overthinking, and endless what-ifs. The Stoics would urge you to simplify your thoughts by focusing on the present. Seneca once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Instead of ruminating on a dozen potential outcomes or past mistakes, zero in on what you can do right now. For example, I once had a week where I was overwhelmed with tasks, work deadlines, family obligations, and a side project I'd taken on out of guilt. I was paralyzed, unable to start anything because it all felt like too much. So I took a page from the Stoics. I listed everything, picked one priority that mattered most, and let the rest wait. That single focus, writing a report that was due, cleared the mental fog. Suddenly, my decisions were sharper, and I felt lighter, like I'd decluttered my brain. Simplifying your thoughts doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities. It means tackling them one at a time with purpose. Simplicity also applies to your goals and decisions. In our world, we're bombarded with choices: what to watch, what to buy, what to prioritize. It's easy to overcomplicate things, second-guessing or chasing perfection. The Stoics would say, pick what aligns with your values and let the rest go. Ask yourself, what's the one thing that will move me forward today? Maybe it's spending quality time with your family, finishing a work task, or taking a walk to clear your head. By narrowing your focus, you cut through the noise of endless options. This approach helped me when I was stuck choosing between multiple career paths. I was overwhelmed, trying to weigh every pro and con. So, I simplified. I chose the path that felt most aligned with my long-term values, growth and creativity, and let the others fall away. The clarity that followed was like a mental exhale. This practice ties into the other Stoic lessons we've explored. Finding stillness creates the space to identify what's essential. Questioning your stories helps you let go of unnecessary worries. Focusing on what you can control ensures you're directing your energy wisely. Together, these principles build a life where simplicity is an ET about doing less. It's about doing what matters with greater impact. In a world that glorifies busyness and accumulation, choosing simplicity is a quiet act of rebellion, a way to reclaim your mind from the chaos. To make simplicity a habit, try this. Pick one area of your life to declutter each week. It could be your physical space, like clearing out a drawer. It could be your digital life. Unsubscribe from 5 newsletters or mute notifications that don't serve you. Or it could be your schedule. Say no to one commitment that's draining you. Reflect on how it feels. When I started doing this, I noticed my mind felt less scattered, my decisions more confident. It's not about becoming a minimalist overnight. It's about creating space for clarity. Over time, these small acts of simplification add up, making your life feel lighter and your thinking sharper. Here's a challenge. Today, choose one thing to simplify. Maybe it's clearing your desk, picking one task to focus on, or letting go of a worry that's not yours to carry. Notice how it shifts your perspective, how it frees up mental energy. Share this idea with someone who's feeling overwhelmed, and let's keep this journey going together. Simplicity isn't laziness. It's intentional living, a way to navigate life with ease and see what's important without the noise. Your mind deserves that clarity, and you deserve the peace that comes with it. Growing through every challenge. Now that we've streamlined our lives with the Stoic art of simplicity, let us dive into a lesson that's all about personal evolution, embracing a growth mindset. Life is full of twists and turns, and it's easy to feel stuck when things don't go your way. But the Stoics, with their knack for turning obstacles into opportunities, offer a powerful perspective. Seneca, ever the voice of wisdom, said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." It's a reminder that challenges, whether they're failures, setbacks, or curveballs, are not roadblocks but stepping stones to becoming a better version of yourself. A growth mindset, as the Stoics would see it, is about believing you can learn, adapt, and improve no matter what life throws at you. In our fast-paced, often unforgiving world, this approach is like a mental superpower, transforming mistakes into lessons and chaos into clarity. Let's explore how embracing growth can sharpen your thinking and help you navigate life with resilience and purpose. The core of a growth mindset is the belief that your abilities aren't T-fixed, they're malleable. The Stoics didn't use that exact term, but their philosophy embodies it. They saw life as a constant opportunity to refine your character and wisdom. Epictetus, for instance, taught that difficulties are tests of your ability to respond with virtue. Think about it. Every challenge, from a missed deadline to a tough conversation, is a chance to grow stronger, wiser, or more patient. In today's world, where we're bombarded with pressure to be perfect, perfect posts, perfect careers, perfect lives, it's easy to view mistakes as failures. But the Stoics would argue that mistakes are where the real growth happens. When you mess up, you're not diminished. You're handed a blueprint for improvement. This mindset shifts your perspective from "I failed" to "I'm learning," and that shift is like clearing the fog from your mind. Let's make this practical. Think back to a time you messed up. Maybe you dropped the ball on a work project, said something you regret, or missed an opportunity. It stings, right? Your first instinct might be to beat yourself up or avoid thinking about it altogether. But here's where the Stoic approach kicks in. Instead of dwelling on the mistake, ask, "What can I take from this?" I remember a time I completely botched a presentation. I was nervous, stumbled over my words, and left the room feeling like I'd let everyone down. The embarrassment was heavy, but instead of wallowing, I took a stoic approach. I reflected on what went wrong, poor preparation, shaky nerves, and used it as fuel. I practiced more, watched tutorials on public speaking, and sought feedback. The next presentation? I nailed it, not because I was suddenly perfect, but because I saw the first one as a lesson, not a defeat. That's the power of a growth mindset. It turns setbacks into springboards. This practice isn't just about recovering from mistakes. It asks about seeing every challenge as a chance to build mental muscle. Think of challenges like workouts in the gym, a tough day at work, a disagreement with a friend, or even a personal goal that feels out of reach. They're all exercises in resilience, patience, or creativity. The Stoics believe that life itself is the training ground for your character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the very things that feel like obstacles are opportunities to grow. In our modern world, where we're constantly juggling demands, work, family, social media, personal ambitions, this mindset is a lifeline. It helps you stay grounded, focusing on progress rather than perfection, and keeps your thinking clear even when life feels messy. So, how do you cultivate this growth mindset? Start by reframing how you view challenges. The next time something goes wrong, a missed deadline, a tough conversation, or a goal that feels too big, pause and ask, what can I learn here? Write it down if you can. Maybe you realize you need to manage your time better, communicate more clearly, or ask for help. Then, take one small step toward improvement. It doesn't have to be grand, just intentional. For example, after a heated argument with a colleague, I realized I'd been too quick to react. So, I practiced pausing before responding in future conversations. It wasn't perfect at first, but each try made me better. Over time, this habit of seeing challenges as lessons builds a kind of mental agility, letting you navigate life's chaos with clarity and confidence. This Stoic approach ties beautifully into the lessons we've explored. Finding stillness gives you the space to reflect on what you can learn. Questioning your stories helps you challenge the belief that you are not good enough or doomed to fail. Focusing on what you can control ensures you're directing your energy toward growth, not frustration. Simplifying your life clears the clutter so you can focus on meaningful progress. Together, these practices create a mental framework that's not just resilient but expansive, allowing you to grow through every experience, good or bad. In our world, growth can feel daunting. Social media showcases everyone's highlight reels, making it easy to feel like you're falling behind. But the Stoics would remind you, your journey is your own. Progress, not comparison, is the goal. Every effort, every lesson learned is a step toward a sharper, clearer mind. To make this a habit, try this. At the end of each day, jot down one challenge you faced and one thing you learned from it. Maybe you struggled with a task and realized you need to ask for help. Maybe you snapped at someone and learned to pause next time. This simple reflection, inspired by Marcus Aurelius' own journaling, turns your experiences into fuel for growth. Here's your challenge. Today, pick one setback or challenge and approach it with a growth mindset. Ask, what can I take from this? Take one small action based on what you learn. Read an article, practice a skill, or simply try again with a fresh perspective. Notice how it feels to see obstacles as opportunities. Share this idea with someone who's facing a tough moment. And let's keep growing together. Your mind is built to evolve. Embrace every challenge as a chance to sharpen it, and watch how your clarity and resilience soar. Wrapping up and stepping forward. And there you have it. 6 powerful Stoic lessons to master clear thinking and build unshakable resilience in a world that is constantly pulling at your attention. We've journeyed through finding stillness to quiet the mental noise, questioning the stories we tell ourselves to uncover truth, focusing on what we can control to stay grounded. simplifying our lives to make space for what matters, embracing a growth mindset to turn challenges into opportunities, and practicing active listening to deepen our understanding and connections. Each of these practices, drawn from the timeless wisdom of Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, is a tool to sharpen your mind and navigate life's chaos with clarity and purpose. You've stuck with me through this exploration, and I'm genuinely grateful for your commitment. This isn't just about reading or watching, it's about taking a step toward a clearer, stronger you. So let's keep the momentum going, fuel this community's growth together, and make these lessons a part of our daily lives. These Stoic principles aren't abstract philosophy. They're practical, actionable steps you can apply right now. Think about the chaos of your day, the endless notifications, the unexpected setbacks, the mental clutter that builds up. Finding stillness, even for a minute, can be your reset button, creating space to breathe and think clearly. I've found that pausing during a hectic workday, even just to close my eyes and focus on my breath, brings a sense of calm that makes everything else feel more manageable. Questioning your assumptions as we explored is like turning on a light in a foggy room. When I caught myself assuming a friend was upset because of a short text, asking, "Is this true?" and reaching out for clarity saved me from unnecessary worry. These small acts ripple outward, transforming how you approach challenges and relationships. Focusing on what you can control is another game changer. Life will always throw curveballs, a delayed project, a difficult colleague, but you get to choose your response. I remember a time when a work deadline got moved up and panic started creeping in. Instead of stressing over the timeline, I focused on what I could do, breaking the task into smaller steps and tackling them one by one. That shift kept me grounded and productive. Simplifying, too, is about cutting through the noise. When I decluttered my desk and said no to a non-essential commitment, I felt lighter, like my mind had room to breathe. These practices aren't about doing less. They're about doing what matters with intention. Embracing a growth mindset turns setbacks into stepping stones. I once flubbed a public speaking gig and it felt awful, but by asking, "What can I learn?" I turned that failure into fuel, practicing and improving until my next talk was a success. It's not about being perfect. It's about seeing every challenge as a chance to grow. And active listening? It's a bridge to better understanding. I've had conversations where truly hearing someone, without planning my reply, changed the entire dynamic, making us both feel seen and understood. These Stoic tools work together, creating a mental framework that's resilient, clear, and connected. Now here's where you come in. You've taken this journey with me, and that's no small thing. It's a commitment to your own growth. Let's keep this going. If you're part of this community, share your thoughts. Which lesson resonated most? Maybe it's the calm of stillness or the empowerment of focusing on what you control? Drop "I think clearly" in the comments to signal your commitment to this path. Share your insights, your wins, or even your struggles. Let's learn from each other. If you're new here, join us. Subscribe, engage, and become part of this growing community dedicated to clarity and resilience. These lessons aren't just ideas. They're a way of life, and every step you take brings you closer to a sharper, more purposeful mind. Let's make this real. Pick one lesson to try this week. Maybe pause for a minute of stillness each morning, question a nagging assumption, or listen fully in your next conversation. Notice how it feels, how it shifts your perspective. Share this journey with someone who could use a dose of clarity. Send them these lessons and invite them to join us. Together, we're not just cutting through the chaos, we're building lives of intention, connection, and growth. You've got this. Keep seeking clarity, keep growing, and I'll see you next time for more wisdom to light the way.